Hey guys, Force Online here to bring you another one of my challenges. Now life is hard enough as it is, so I thought I'd amp it up by putting myself through challenges in ESO. Now this challenge is a build that only uses light attacks as a form of damage. So I have a skill setup and inventory setup to support just using light attacks. So let's take a look. On the front bar I just have a staff. So that increases my spell damage by 124, and I have a sharpened trait on it. Known hone would work better. I just didn't have one available. I didn't enchant the staff because I just wanted to see the damage of the light attacks that I'm doing. Then for the 5-piece sets, the first one is Spell Strategist. So when I deal damage with a light attack, I place a marker with a target for 5 seconds. That grants me 477 spell damage against that marked target. Then the second 5-piece seat is Galarians. So when I deal damage with a light or a heavy attack, I put a mark of revenge on the enemy for 15 seconds. And after the stack of 5, the mark of revenge activates, that detonates for 11k magic damage. So that's really nice there. So basically this one increases my initial damage output, and then this one increases the damage output after 5 consecutive attacks. Now I'm using an Inferno staff because there is this passive that increases my direct single target damage, and that's what light attacks does, so it increases it by about 8%, which is really nice. Now taking a look at the skills. So because I can't use any other skills as magic, so I thought I'd just equip some pets. Since they don't technically count as me directing any resource to deal damage, so they're doing damage themselves, I thought I'd push the rules a bit and having them on there. So I just have the Unstable Claim Fear as my first pet. I'm not going to use the heal on it, so just the magic, the physical damage output there. And then it's summon the Twilight Matriarch. This one doesn't really matter which one you use either, because you can't activate that skill that increases the damage output. So this one adds another 1100 shock damage as well. So then the first one I use here is Bound Ornaments. So the only reason I have this skill here is while slotted, increases my max stamina. I use Magicka, so that doesn't really matter, but it increases the light attack damage that I deal by 10%. So I only have this as a passive there to increase that light attack by 10%, but as a PvE stamina, very nice damage skill here. They have changed it in one of the previous patches. It used to just grant you some minor resistances, but this skill's got a lot more interesting and a lot better to use. Then Elemental Weapon from the Sijic Order skill line. So this one costs Magicka to activate, but the skill itself can't do damage unless I do damage with a light attack. So again, pushing that grey area there a little bit. But what happens is infusing this weapon, causing the next light attack used within 2 seconds to deal 5,600 magic damage. It also places a status effect on there. If the power is not consumed, I restore half the resources that I used. So basically, activating the skill and then doing that light attack, it just adds extra light attack damage there. Another thing to note is that it doesn't actually count as light attack damage, but as a skill damage. So in the next skill buff, that 40% won't apply to this. So then the next skill I use is Inner Light. Now I have to activate the skill using Magicka, but since it doesn't cost any, or since it doesn't do any damage, I think it would be a right skill to use since it doesn't cost damage, but it's got a really nice effect to it. Now while it's slotted, it increases my max Magicka by 5% and also increases my spell critical by a little bit. But the biggest part of it is that the passive that the major skill supplies. So the first one down here, if I have a major skill skilled equipped, increases my max Magicka by 2%. So the more magicka you have, the more damage you actually do. Increasing spell damage definitely does more damage, but a high magicka pool will actually increase your damage as well. But mainly for this one, casting a major skilled ability grants you empowered, increasing the damage of your next light attack by 40% for 5 seconds. So let's take a look. Just a single one there. With the Mark of Revenge, critting, there it is without the Mark of Revenge. Activating the skill, you can see that increase there. Now you have to activate it every time before you do the light attack, because the power only lasts for that one attack. So basically the rotation is activating the major skilled, activating viewed weapon, and then striking. Try it again. There you go. Alright, and since we're pushing the rules a little bit as it is anyway, I thought as an ultimate I would use one from the Storm Calling skill line as a class skill line for the sorcerer. So this one, once it activates, dealing a light attack, you actually get shock in your hand, so you start shooting lightning. It's pretty cool. So the light attack deals 8k damage, and the heavy attack does 7k damage per second there. So it looks something like this. Activating it, shooting those light attacks. See, very nice damage that's put there. Holding it down, something like that. So it does drain your ultimate as you use it. You can toggle it off and just regain your ultimate and toggle it on again. Now, Imbue weapon actually stacks on top of this as well. And so does the major skilled empowered. So full rotation will look like that. This major skilled. See that increase there. So that's pretty much it for the light attack only. So get my pets in here, let them have their fun. Alright, that's it guys. Definitely not a build I would recommend if you're trying to clear PvE dungeons or something as a group or as a DPS. People won't like it if you're just spamming off light attacks, even as cool as it might look. This is just a bit of fun for the challenge builds. And if you have any suggestions for challenges I need to do in the future, let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content that I'm putting out, please hit that like and subscribe. Take care and be safe. Bye.